So you're in the market for a new tire for your off-road rig. What kind of tire should you get? There's a million options out there. There's all-terrain, mud terrain. What kind of options should you get? So if you're going once in a while off-roading, then an all-terrain tire is just fine. They're fairly decent on tread. They last good mileage. They're just a good all-around tire. But if you're more serious into the off-roading, then I like to look for a mud terrain that kind of has a lot of characteristics of an all-terrain tire. And the one I found that has a mud terrain but kind of an all-terrain characteristic is the Cooper Evolution MT. The reason why I like this tire is it gets high mileage, so I can get 40, even 50,000 miles out of this tire. I have 18,000 miles on my truck right now, 18,000 miles on those tires, and the tread is still, really, really good. I'm going to say the tread is like 3/4 still there. So I only used maybe a quarter of my tread, and I got 18,000 miles out of them. So the tread wear is really, really good on these tires. The other thing is it has a true 10-ply sidewall. This sidewall is thick and tough. Now, true, a thick sidewall is going to make your ride rougher. So it's going to have a rougher ride, but the benefit of this is you have a thick sidewall, which means when you air down, you have a lot of protection on the side of your tire. And when you're off-roading through rocky terrain, you need a lot of sidewall protection. Where if a lot of all-terrain tires, they have, kind of a 5-ply sidewall, and they're just not as good, for protecting your tire from rocks. The nice thing about a thin sidewall is you get a nice softer ride. But like I said, the trade-off is you have a higher risk of puncturing your sidewall. Where the Cooper Evolution MT has a 10-ply, a true 10-ply, and it's going to give you a ton of protection on that sidewall. And like I said, the wear on this tire is really, really good. Now, I know to get good wear on a tire, you need a couple factors. You need a good alignment, and you need to keep that alignment. Now, if you have an alignment and you drive through these courses slow and steady, you're not going crazy through a off-road course, then that alignment will stick. You're not going to mess it up. But if you go flying through these courses, you're going to mess that alignment up. And once you mess your alignment up, you're done. Your tires are going to wear out, and you're going to be so mad because you spent, could be $1,000 on tires, and they're wearing out on you. So take it easy on these off-road courses. Don't go flying through them. Another thing to keep your tires healthy is make sure you put the correct tire pressure in these tires. So let's say, for example, you have a bigger tire than the factory size. You need to find the correct air pressure for that tire. And to do that, you need to do a chalk test. And what you do is you chalk the tread, you drive it through a parking lot, like a Walmart parking lot, straight for, 100 feet, and see where the chalk was worn at on the tire. And that'll give you a true test to find out what kind of tread wear you're going to get for that PSI. If it wears the chalk out in the middle of the tire, then air your tires down a little bit. So you really need the correct tire pressure to keep those tires lasting a long time. So on my Tacoma, I pretty much had the same exact size as the factory size. So I'm running 30 PSI. The tire pressure from the manufacturer for my Toyota Tacoma off-road says 29 PSI. So 29, 30 PSI is perfect tire pressure for running your tires on the general use, your daily driving. 29 PSI, 30 PSI, you're going to be totally fine. You're not going to prematurely wear out those treads. And like I said, I have 18,000 miles on my tires right now, and they are wearing really, really good. And like I said, 29 PSI, 30 PSI is what I generally run on my tire. So make sure you have the correct PSI to make these tires last. But again, it's also, the brand and the quality of tire. Now, I know Cooper Evolutions are probably $20 per tire more than another tire out there, but they have a thick sidewall. So you're going to pay a little extra for that thick sidewall. That's why they do run a little higher, but the quality is there. Now, the bad thing about the Cooper Evolution is when it starts getting cold, they lose a little more traction. I'm going to say 25% less traction on the main roads when the temperatures get cold. I've noticed that about the tire. Rain, they seem fine, but when the temperatures get cold, it starts losing some traction, and I have noticed that. So just be ready that when it starts getting colder, you're going to lose a little traction, and basically just don't speed around, and you'll be fine. So slow it down a little bit, but you're going to lose a little traction because of that temperature. So that's the tire recommendation I have for off-roading. I know a lot of people say don't put mud terrains on because, they are a little less traction on the main roads. But again, if you put the right tire pressure in it and you drive slower, you're going to be just fine. So that's my tire recommendation.